The colony of New Hyundai sat on the edge of known space. It was a small place built by humans who wanted a new start. Red dust covered the ground, and tall mining towers pulled rare minerals from deep under the planet. Big glass domes protected the living areas from the thin air outside. Inside the domes, people grew food, raised children, and tried to build a quiet life far from Earth. Captain Ji-hoon Kim stood on the bridge of the Dawn Seeker. His ship was not big or fancy. It was an old frigate with strong engines and good guns, but it looked worn from many years of patrols. Ji-hoon was 38 years old, with short black hair and calm eyes. He had come to this colony 5 years ago after serving in the Earth Navy. Now he kept the skies safe for the miners and farmers below. Today felt different. A big Concorde ship had arrived in orbit. The Galactic Concorde was the group that ruled most of the stars. They had many species, tall ones with scales, small ones with many eyes, and others. They said they brought peace and order. But humans knew the truth. The Concorde took what they wanted and gave little back. Ji-hoon watched the screen as a shuttle came down from the big ship. It landed near the main dome. Sumin Park waited there to meet them. Sumin was the colony's diplomat. She was smart and patient, always trying to talk first before things got bad. She wore a simple blue uniform and carried a small tablet with all the colony's records. The shuttle door opened. Out stepped Kazath, the Varelian envoy. He was very tall, almost 3 meters high. His body looked like a giant insect with hard green and purple shell. Long arms ended in sharp claws, and his face had big compound eyes that shone like dark jewels. Antennae moved slowly as he walked. Behind him came 2 guards with energy weapons. Sumin stepped forward and bowed a little, the way humans showed respect. "Welcome to New Hyundai, Envoy Kazath. We are happy to see you." Kazath made a clicking sound that might have been laughter. His voice came through a translator box on his chest. It sounded cold and flat. "Human female, we come for the agreement. You know what we want." Sumin kept her face calm. "Yes, the Concorde wants 40% of our thorium output. That is a lot. Our people work hard to mine it. If we give so much, we will have little left for our own needs. For power, for ships, for life here." Kazath's antenna waved. "You are new to space. You are weak. The Concorde protects you from worse things. Pirates, other species. You pay the tax. It is fair." Ji-hoon listened from the bridge through the comlink. His hands tightened on the armrest. He had heard these words many times. The Concorde always called humans weak, short-lived, reckless. They said humans had only been in space for 100 years. Nothing compared to thousands for others. Sumin spoke again. "We have offered 25%. We can raise production if you give us better tools. Help us, and we can give more later." The envoy clicked louder. "No, 40%. Now, or we take it ourselves." People in the domes started to gather. Miners stopped work. Families watched from windows. Children pointed at the tall alien. Sumin took a deep breath. "Envoy, this colony has families, children, old people. If we lose so much, many will suffer. Please think again." Kazath turned his head, his eyes fixed on her. "Humans always talk about feelings. Short lives make you soft. The galaxy does not care. Sign the agreement." Sumin shook her head slowly. "We cannot, not like this." The envoy's claws clicked together. "Then you choose the hard way." He raised one arm. A signal went up to the ships in orbit. Ji-hoon saw it on his screen. Concorde warships moved into attack position. Red warning lights flashed across the bridge. "Captain," his first officer shouted, "they are charging weapons." Ji-hoon hit the alert button. Sirens screamed through the colony. People ran to shelters. Sumin looked up at the sky. "No, wait." Bright beams came down from space. They hit the main hab dome. The glass cracked like thunder. Fire and smoke exploded outward. The dome collapsed in seconds. Screams filled the air as people tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. Ji-hoon felt his heart stop. The dome where Sumin stood was gone. Flames rose high. The mining towers bent and fell. Dust and debris flew everywhere. The Dawn Seeker shook from the shockwave. Ji-hoon gripped the controls. His voice was low but steady. Damage report. Main comms down, colony power failing, life signs, very few in the central area. Ji-hoon stared at the burning ruins on the screen. Sumin's family lived in that dome. Her husband, her 2 young daughters, gone. He stood up slowly. His face was hard. No tears. Not yet. He opened the emergency broadcast channel. It went to every human ship, every colony, every outpost in range, and to the Concorde ships above. This is Captain Ji-hoon Kim of New Hyundai. The Galactic Concorde has attacked our people. They have murdered civilians, women, children. They think we are weak. They think we will beg. He paused. His voice became stronger. They are wrong. We declare war. No talks, no deals, no mercy. We will fight until the Concorde is broken, until every world that helped them pays. This is not a threat. This is a promise. He cut the transmission. Silence filled the bridge. His crew looked at him. Some were scared. Others nodded slowly. Ji-hoon sat back down. Get the ship ready. Full power to engines. We leave orbit in 10 minutes. Send word to all human forces. Tell them what happened here. Outside, the fires still burned. Smoke rose into the thin air. Bodies lay in the red dust. The Concorde ships stayed high above, watching like they had done nothing wrong. But something had changed. Humans had always been patient. They had followed rules. They had tried to fit in. Now the rules were gone. Ji-hoon looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, other humans were hearing his message. Ships would start moving. Factories would work day and night. Plans would be made. The galaxy had laughed at humans for too long. Months passed after the attack on New Hyundai. The Galactic Concorde thought the humans would break quickly. They sent small groups of warships to raid human outposts, burn supply ships, and force surrender. They expected fear. They expected begging. They got something else. Tae-woo Lee moved through the dark asteroid belt like a shadow. He was 32, tall and thin, with scars on his arms from old battles. Before the war, he had been a Marine on a quiet patrol ship. Now he led a small group of fighters in 3 old mining tugs they had turned into weapons. No fancy names, just numbers. Tug 7, Tug 12, Tug 19. They waited in silence behind a big rock. A Concorde supply convoy came through. 4 fat cargo haulers guarded by 2 fast destroyers. The aliens felt safe here. This route was far from human space, or so they thought. Tae-woo spoke softly into his comm. Wait for my mark. No lights, no engines until I say. The convoy passed close. Engines hummed. Lights glowed on the hulls. Now. 3 tugs burst from cover. They moved fast for old miners. Engines roared. Small railguns spat metal slugs at high speed. The first shots hit the lead destroyer in the engine section. Sparks flew. Alarms screamed across alien channels. The second destroyer turned to fight. Too late. Tug 12 rammed it from the side. A shape charge exploded against the hull. The destroyer broke in half. Fire bloomed in vacuum. The cargo ships tried to run. Tug 7 and Tug 19 chased them. Tae-woo's tug fired missiles, simple ones made from mining explosives and guidance parts stolen from Concorde wrecks. One missile hit a cargo ship's bridge. Another tore open a fuel tank. The hauler spun and died. In less than 10 minutes, the convoy was gone. Tae-woo's people took what they could, food packs, medical kits, spare parts, then left the rest to drift. They did not celebrate. They just moved to the next hideout. Word of the attack spread fast among humans. It gave hope. Other groups started doing the same. Hit and run, strike and vanish, never stand and fight fair. Far away, on a small courier ship called Swift Fox. Hei Jin Choi flew through a thick asteroid field. She was 29, short, with quick hands and sharper eyes. She used to deliver mail between colonies. Now she delivered death. Her ship was fast and small. No heavy armor, no big guns, just speed and her skill. Today she carried a special load, 20 small drones packed with high explosives. The target was a Concorde refueling station hidden behind a gas giant's moon. Hei Jin pushed the throttle. The ship danced between spinning rocks. One wrong move and she would be dust. She smiled a little. This was the part she loved. The station appeared on her screen. Big round tanks, thin pipes, a few defense turrets, not many guards. The Concorde thought no one would dare come this deep. She released the drones one by one. They spread out like angry bees. Each found a target. Fuel lines, power cores, docking arms. Explosions lit the dark side of the moon, one after another. The station broke apart in bright flashes. Fuel burned in long streams of fire that could not spread in vacuum, but looked beautiful anyway. Hei Jin turned her ship and ran. Concorde fighters arrived too late. They found only wreckage and silence. Back on human channels, pilots shared stories. They laughed at how easy it was when you did not follow rules. The Concorde fought like they had for thousands of years. Big fleets, straight lines, honor in battle. Humans fought like cornered animals. Dirty, fast, mean. Ji-hoon Kim listened to all the reports from the bridge of the Dawn Seeker. His ship had grown. They added guns from dead Concorde ships, extra armor plates, more crew, volunteers who came from burned colonies. Everyone wanted to hit back. He looked at the map. Red dots showed Concorde positions. Blue dots showed human ships. Few, scattered, but moving. Always moving. A new message came in, from Sumin Park. Ji-hoon froze. He thought she was dead. The dome had collapsed on her. But the message was real. Voice only, weak but clear. Ji-hoon, I survived. Barely. Broken leg. Lost everyone. I am on a hidden outpost now. I have information. The Concorde is planning a big push. They want to take all our core mining worlds. They think we are finished. Ji-hoon closed his eyes for a second, then opened them. Where are you? We will come get you. No time. Listen. They are afraid. They hide it, but they are. Their admirals argue. Some want to pull back. Others want to crush us harder. Use that. Make them bleed. Make them doubt. She paused. Her voice cracked. For my girls. For everyone. Do not stop. The message ended. Ji-hoon stood up. All ships. New orders. We hit their supply lines harder. We take no prisoners. We leave messages. We make them remember New Hyundai every time they look at a dead ship. The crew nodded. No questions. Across human space, factories worked without sleep. Old cargo ships became carriers. Mining lasers became weapons. People who once grew rice or fixed engines now built bombs and flew fighters. The Concorde admirals met on their big command station. Sath was there. His shell looked duller now. He clicked his claws. These humans are insects, he said. They sting, but insects die under boots. Another admiral, a tall, scaled creature named Vorak, shook his head. They do not die easy. Our losses grow. Our client worlds complain. Trade slows. Fear spreads. Kazath waved a claw. Fear from short lives? We will send more ships. Bigger fleets. They will break. But deep inside, even Kazath felt something new. Doubt. Humans did not fight for land or power. They fought for the faces they could never see again. For children who would never grow up. For homes turned to ash. That kind of anger does not fade. It grows. In one small battle near a dense star, a single human fighter, just one pilot, flew straight at a Concorde cruiser. No missiles left. No escape pod. He screamed over open channel in Korean, words the aliens did not understand, but felt the hate in them. The fighter hit the bridge. The cruiser went dark. The aliens who survived told stories. They said the human laughed as he died. The galaxy started to whisper. These humans do not care if they live. They only care that the Concorde dies. The war had lasted 8 months now. Humans kept hitting hard and fast, but the Concorde still held most of the stars. Their fleets were bigger, their ships stronger, their tech older and better. Everyone thought the humans would tire soon. They were wrong. Ji-hoon Kim stood in the hidden shipyard deep inside an uncharted nebula. Lights flickered on metal walls. Sparks flew from welders. Hundreds of workers moved without rest. They built something new, something impossible. They called it Project Hwarang. The name came from old Korean history, brave warriors who protected their land no matter the odds. Ji-hoon liked the sound of it. It felt right. Engineers worked on jump drives taken from dead Concorde ships. Scientists pushed outlawed AI cores to think faster than any alien machine. Pilots tested small fighters that moved like living things. Everyone knew the rules. No limits, no mercy. Win or die. Sumin Park walked with a limp now. Her broken leg had healed crooked in a hidden clinic. She refused to stay behind. She worked in the strategy room, looking at maps and plans. Her eyes were hard. She spoke little about her family. She did not need to. Everyone knew. One night she found Ji-hoon alone by a viewing window. Stars swirled in colorful gas clouds outside. "You look tired," she said. "I am," he answered. "But we are close." She nodded. "The Concorde thinks we are still small, scattered. They plan to crush our main worlds in one big push. 3 fleets, over 200 capital ships. They call it Operation Clean Slate." Ji-hoon turned to her. "Where?" "The Veil Nebula. Our biggest shipyard is there. If they take it, we lose half our production." Ji-hoon smiled for the first time in weeks. "Let them come." The Battle of the Veil Nebula began at dawn ship time. Concorde Admiral Vorak led the attack. His flagship was huge, shaped like a long spear with glowing blue engines. Behind him came rows of destroyers, cruisers, carriers. They moved in perfect formation. No fear, no doubt. They jumped into the nebula. Gas clouds hid many things. Sensors struggled. Vorak smiled inside his scaled mouth. "Easy prey," he said to his bridge crew. "Find the human yard. Burn it." Then the first ghost ship appeared. It was small, no bigger than a shuttle, no markings, no shields glowing. It drifted like junk. Then it moved, fast, straight at a Concorde destroyer. The destroyer fired. Beams missed. The ghost ship kept coming. At the last second, it turned, slammed into the engine section. A white flash. The destroyer broke apart. Pieces spun into the gas. More ghost ships came, dozens, hundreds. Some had one pilot, some had none, just AI and bombs. They did not dodge, they did not hide. They flew straight at the biggest targets. Concorde gunners tried to shoot them down. Too many, too fast. One ghost ship hit a carrier's hangar. It exploded inside. Fighters cooked before they could launch. Another rammed a cruiser's bridge. The ship went dark, tumbling. Vorak shouted orders. Form defensive sphere. Focus fire. But humans did not fight in lines. They swarmed. Ji-hoon watched from the Dawn Seeker, now much bigger with new guns and armor. He gave calm commands. "Launch Wave 2. Target their command ships." Hei Jin Choi flew at the front. Her swift fox carried no bombs this time. Just speed and a new toy. A short-range jump drive that worked inside the nebula. She blinked in and out. 1 second here, next second, gone. She appeared behind a Concorde battleship, fired all guns into its rear, vanished again. She laughed over comms. "They cannot hit what they cannot see." Taewoo Lee led ground teams on small moons inside the nebula. They had landed days before, hidden in caves. Now they activated mines, self-replicating ones. Tiny robots ate metal, grew, made more mines. Concord landing ships touched down and exploded. Ground troops died in bright flashes. Sumin worked the other war, the one in mines. She sent broadcasts on every channel the Concord used, pictures of New Hyundai burning, children's toys in the dust. Then soft music, old Korean songs about home and loss. Then her voice. You came to our home. You killed our families. You thought we would kneel. Look around. Your ships burn. Your soldiers run. This is what happens when you wake a sleeping people. Alien crews listened. Some turned off the sound. Others could not. The songs stayed in their heads. On Vorax Bridge, officers whispered, "They sing while they die. What kind of species does that?" Vorax slammed a fist on his chair. "They are mad. Push forward." But losses grew too fast. A third of his fleet was already gone. Ghost ships kept coming. Some carried messages painted on their hulls in alien languages. For the children, no mercy, you started this. One human pilot flew his damaged fighter into the side of Vorax's flagship. He opened comms before impact. His voice was calm. "Tell your council, we are coming for you next." The explosion shook the whole ship. Alarms screamed. Lights failed. Vorax stared at the cracked view screen. For the first time, he felt cold fear. Humans did not fight to win battles. They fought to end empires. Back in the hidden shipyard, Ji-hoon received reports. Victory. Heavy price, but victory. He looked at Su-min. "We hurt them bad today." She nodded. "They will think twice now." Ji-hoon turned to the window. The nebula glowed with dying fires. Wreckage floated like broken toys. "But we are not done," he said quietly. "Not even close." Across the galaxy, alien news channels showed the battle. They tried to call it a Concord win, but the pictures lied. Too many burning ships, too few human wrecks. In bars on distant worlds, species that once served the Concord talked in low voices. The humans are not stopping. They fight like they have nothing left to lose. Maybe we picked the wrong side. Defections started small. A supply ship crew surrendered to humans. A scout pilot sent coordinates of Concord bases. Fear spread like fire in dry grass. The Concord Council met in panic. Kazat clicked his claws hard. "We must crush them now. More ships, more weapons." But even he heard the whispers. The short lives were not breaking. They were growing stronger. And the galaxy began to understand something terrible. When humans said war, they meant it. All of it. No end. The Concord was breaking. After the disaster in the Veil Nebula, their fleets pulled back to protect the core worlds. They thought distance and numbers would save them. Humans did not wait. They pushed forward like a slow, unstoppable wave. Ji-hoon Kim now commanded the United Human Armada from a new flagship called Resolve. It was built in secret, bigger than any human ship before. Thick armor, many guns, jump engines that could cross systems in hours. Around it flew thousands of smaller ships, carriers, fighters, ghost boats, supply runners, all painted black with one white symbol, a simple circle with a line through it. The mark of New Hyundai. Ji-hoon stood on the bridge. Maps glowed red and blue. Red for Concord, blue for human gains. Blue dots grew every day. Sumin Park sat beside him. She no longer limped so much. Her job was to plan the next moves and speak to the galaxy. She sent messages to every species the Concord ruled. The old power falls. Join us or stand aside. We do not want your worlds. We want justice. Some listened. Small rebellions started on distant planets. Workers stopped loading Concord ships. Soldiers refused orders. Fear worked both ways. Tae-woo Lee led the ground war now. Its teams landed on occupied human colonies first. They freed them fast. Then they moved to Concord client worlds, places where aliens had lived safe under Concord rule for centuries. No one expected ground fights anymore. Wars happened in space, not in streets and buildings. On the planet Kalor, a Concord mining world, Tewu's dropships came down at night. No warning, no big explosions to announce them, just quiet landings in dark valleys. His soldiers wore light armor, carried rifles that fired fast metal darts, and moved in small groups. The Concord garrison had tall towers and energy shields. They felt safe. Tewu's people cut the power lines first. Lights died. Shields dropped. Then they attacked. Fighting happened house to house, in narrow tunnels, on rooftops. Concord soldiers, big, strong, trained for parades, found humans everywhere. A human would appear from the doorway, fire, vanish. Another would drop from above. Tewu himself led one team into the main command center. They fought through corridors filled with smoke and screams. One Concord officer, a scaled captain, raised his hands. "We surrender." Tewu looked at him. "You burned our homes, killed our children. Surrender does not bring them back." He did not shoot the officer. He tied him up, left him for the local workers who had been forced to serve. Those workers took their revenge quietly. Tewu did not stop them. News of Kalor spread. Other client worlds heard. Many opened their gates to humans without a fight. They gave food, fuel, information. They said the same thing. "We never wanted this war. The Concord forced us." Heijin Choi flew strike after strike. Her swift fox was famous now. Concord pilots called her the Ghost Fox. She led squadrons of fast carriers that hit shipyards and repair stations. One day she jumped into the system of Torva Prime, the biggest Concord shipbuilding world. Hundreds of half-built warships floated in dry docks. Big skeletons of metal. Workers from many species moved between them. Heijin's voice came over open channels. "This is Captain Choi. Leave the yards. We give you 1 hour. After that, nothing survives." Some workers ran to escape pods. Others stayed, loyal to the Concord. Heijin waited exactly 1 hour. Then she gave the order. Carriers launched waves of small attack craft. They flew in low, dropped smart bombs that found weak points, fuel lines, reactor cores, support beams. Explosions started small, then grew. One ship after another broke apart. Fire spread across the docks. The whole yard became a cloud of glowing wreckage. Heijin watched from her cockpit. She felt no joy, only cold satisfaction. "For New Hyundai," she whispered. The Concord Council met one last time on their shining capital station. The room was huge. Crystal walls, floating lights. But the leaders looked small now. Kazaf's shell had cracks from stress. Vorok's scales were dull. "We cannot win," Vorok said. "Our fleets are half gone. Our allies run. The humans come closer every day." Kazaf clicked weakly. "We must fight. We are the Concord. We have ruled for 10,000 years. An old diplomat from a bird-like species spoke softly. "We ruled because others feared us. Now they fear humans more." Silence fell. Then alarms sounded. The station shook. Jihoon's fleet had arrived. The Resolve led the way. Behind it came carriers, battleships, swarms of fighters. They did not fire at once. They waited. Jihoon opened a channel to the station. His face appeared on every screen inside. "This is Admiral Jihoon Kim. We are here for your leaders. For the ones who ordered the attack on New Hyundai. For the ones who blast our domes. Surrender them, or we take them ourselves." Kazoth stared at the screen. His antennae drooped. "You cannot destroy us all." Jihoon's voice was calm. "We do not need to destroy you all. We need to destroy your power. You thought we were weak because we were kind. You thought we were broken because we grieved. You were wrong on both counts." He paused. "We offer terms. Give us your war council. Give us the names of every officer who fired on civilians. Pay for the lives you took. Break your monopoly on space. Let species choose their own paths. Do this. and the killing stops. Refuse, and we continue until nothing remains of the old Concord. Inside the station, arguments broke out. Some wanted to fight, others wanted to live. In the end, they chose life. Shuttles left the station. They carried the council members in chains. Human Marines took them aboard the Resolve. Ji-hoon watched them arrive. He did not smile. He felt empty. Su-min stood beside him. "It is over." "Not yet," he said, "but close." Outside, the fleet held position. No more shots fired. The galaxy waited. Across thousands of worlds, people looked up at the sky. They saw human ships, not as invaders but as something new, something that ended an old age of fear. In quiet moments, alien children asked their parents, "Who are the humans?" The parents answered softly, "They are the ones who said no more." And somewhere deep in space, on the rebuilt colony of New Haeundae, a single flower grew through cracked glass. It was small, but it was alive. The war was not finished, but the end had begun. The capital station of the Galactic Concord floated like a broken jewel in the center of its home system. Once it shone with pride. Now its lights flickered. Many sections were dark. Cracks ran along the outer hull from earlier battles. Human ships surrounded it in a wide circle. They did not fire. They waited. Inside the great assembly hall, the last leaders of the Concord stood in chains. K'Zoth, Vorok, and the others looked smaller than before. Their proud colors had faded. Their eyes moved nervously. Human Marines in black armor stood at every door. No one spoke unless spoken to. Ji-hoon Kim walked into the hall alone. He wore no fancy uniform, just his old captain's jacket from the Dawnseeker, now patched many times. His face was calm. Tired lines marked his eyes. He stopped in the middle of the room and looked at each leader one by one. "You asked for peace," he said in a clear voice. "Here are our terms." He raised a small tablet. A hologram appeared above it. Words in many languages floated in the air. "First, every member of your war council stands trial. Not here, on New Haeundae, in front of the families who lost everything. Witnesses from other worlds will speak too. No hidden judges, no secret deals." K'Zoth clicked his claws weakly. "You cannot judge us. We are—" Ji-hoon cut him off. "You judged us when you burned our dome. You decided our children did not matter. Now we decide." He continued. "Second, full reparations. Every world you took from us returns. Every mineral, every ship, every life lost, paid for in resources or labor. Your richest systems will help rebuild what you destroyed." Vorok lowered his head. "Our people will starve. Your people will live," Ji-hoon answered. "Ours did not get that chance." Third, the Concord ends. No more central power. No more forced taxes. No more rules that only serve the strong. Each species chooses its own path. If they want to join humans in trade or defense, they can. If not, they walk free. Silence filled the hall. The alien leaders looked at each other. No one argued. They had no strength left. Ji-hoon lowered the tablet. "Accept these terms. Sign now, or we take what we want by force. The choice is yours. But know this, we will not stop until justice is done." One by one they stepped forward. Hands, claws, tentacles signed the document. The hologram recorded each mark. When the last name appeared, Ji-hoon nodded to the Marines. "Take them to the holding ships. Treat them with care. They will face trial soon." The leaders were led away. No one cheered. No one shouted. The hall felt empty. Ji-hoon turned to leave. Su-min waited at the door. She had come with him. Her eyes were dry now. She had cried enough in the dark months. "It is finished," she said quietly. Ji-hoon shook his head. "Not yet, but the worst is over." They walked together through the quiet corridors. Outside the windows, human ships began to move away slowly. Some went to guard the new borders, others carried supplies to broken colonies. A few carried the first alien defectors who wanted to learn from humans. News spread across the galaxy like wind. On worlds that once feared the Concord, people gathered in streets and squares. They watched screens show the signing. Some cheered, others cried. Many simply stood in silence, not sure what to feel. On one small planet called Lyra, a young alien child asked her mother, "Are the humans bad?" The mother thought for a long time. "No, they are not bad. They are angry, and they are strong when they are angry. But they stopped when the fighting could end. That is something." In the weeks that followed, trials began on New Hyundai. The colony had been rebuilt. New domes rose higher. Green plants grew again under bright lights. People walked freely. Children played in open parks. The trials were open to all. Cameras sent pictures to every human world and many alien ones. Witnesses spoke. Survivors from the glass dome told their stories. Mothers held photos of lost sons and daughters. Old miners showed scars from Concord whips. No one hid the pain. Kazath and the others sat in simple chairs. They listened. They answered questions when asked. Some showed regret. Others stayed silent. The judges, a mix of humans and volunteers from freed species, listened carefully. In the end, sentences were given. No one was killed. Humans did not want blood for blood. They wanted memory. The leaders were sent to labor camps on empty worlds. They would work to rebuild what they destroyed, year after year, until the debt felt paid. Ji-hoon did not watch every trial. He returned to space. He visited colonies. He spoke to new allies. He helped build a loose council, not a new empire, but a simple agreement between free peoples. Trade, help in danger, no masters. Heijin Choi flew patrol now instead of strikes. She taught young pilots how to dance through asteroid fields. She smiled more. Sometimes she sang old songs over the comms. Her voice carried far. Tae-woo Lee stayed on the ground. He trained new soldiers, not for war, but for protection. He told them stories of the early days, how a few tugs turned into a fleet, how anger became purpose. One day Sumin took Ji-hoon back to New Hyundai. They walked through the new Central Park. Flowers bloomed along clean paths. Children ran past them laughing. A small girl stopped and looked up at Ji-hoon. "Are you the captain?" she asked. He knelt. "Now I am just Ji-hoon." The girl smiled. "Thank you for making the bad ones go away." Ji-hoon felt something tight in his chest loosen. "You are welcome." They watched the girl run off to play. Sumin touched his arm. "We did it," she said. Ji-hoon looked at the sky. Stars shone clear above the dome. No more shadows of big warships. Only human lights, and a few friendly ones from new friends. An old alien historian wrote the final words in a quiet archive on a distant moon. His species had served the Concord for centuries. Now he wrote freely. "We poked the quiet ones. We mocked their songs, their small ships, their short lives. We never imagined they would turn grief into galaxy-shaking wrath. When humans declared war, the galaxy realized it had gone too far. They did not conquer, they ended conquest. They did not rule, they freed. And in doing so, they changed everything." On New Hyundai, night fell gently. Sumin stood on a hill outside the dome. She watched the stars. A soft wind moved her hair. In the distance, new ships rose from the shipyard, not for revenge, but for watch, to guard the peace they had won with so much pain. Humanity had not just survived, it had taught the stars a lesson they would never forget.